Here's the 5 biggest mistakes that I see wholesalers making, including the mistakes that I made in the very beginning and how you can avoid them when you get started. Now, if you haven't done so already, help me hit my goal of 10,000 subscribers and hit that subscribe button. But let's go ahead and jump into these 5 mistakes. Now, do keep in mind that they are in no particular order. So I'm just going to run through a list of 5 mistakes that I see most wholesalers making. So the first mistake is not researching your market and just going off of what YouTube and gurus are telling you. So for example, when I first got started, everyone was saying 70% of ARV minus your repairs, minus your wholesale fee equals your max allowable offer. But for my market, that couldn't have been farther from the truth. In fact, I wasn't getting a single deal using that formula. Even when I increased it to 80%, I wasn't getting a single deal in my market. So what you want to do is you want to study your market and figure out exactly where buyers are buying at and where they're reselling those properties at. So you can use a couple different methods like this. I think I have a video on YouTube going over it. If I don't, I'll definitely upload one. But you want to basically use like Privy or Zillow or anything you can scrub tax records on. And you want to try to find properties that were bought and flipped by entities. Once you've identified those properties, you want to figure out, okay, where did they purchase this property at? And then where did they resell it at? So for example, let's say a property, and again, this is just an example. Let's say a property was bought for $70,000, flipped and resold at $100,000. And you found a lot of other properties that kind of fit, those similar numbers, right? It's safe to say that if it was a cosmetic rehab, that cosmetic flips are going for 70% of the ARV. Whereas if maybe you're coming across a lot of full gut properties and you're seeing that they were bought at $45,000 and resold at $100,000, it's safe to say that full guts are likely going for 45% of ARV. So you really want to study your market and try to figure out, where buyers are buying at, or partner with wholesalers who are doing a lot of deals, or actually talk with your buyers, right? Instead of just going off of what you hear on YouTube, because that's going to save you in and of itself months and months of just spinning your wheels trying to figure out what's going on. The second biggest mistake that I see wholesalers making, or just the second mistake in general, right, is shiny object syndrome. So what I like to call this is the SOS, shiny object syndrome of wholesaling, right? You're literally screaming out, save my soul. And the reason I say that is because you're not allowing yourself to gain momentum in anything. I did this in the very beginning. I hopped between markets. I hopped between outreach methods. So I tried Jacksonville. I tried Ohio. I tried, the DMV. I tried texting, calling, probate letters. I tried door knocking, right? I tried everything, but it wasn't allowing me to gain momentum. And then on top of not knowing my market, whenever I did get a lead, nothing happened, right? So shiny object syndrome will kill your momentum. And without momentum, it's nearly impossible to, grow your business. So figure out 1 or 2 things, dial in on them, become an expert, and then start to expand. If it doesn't work, give it at least 3 to 6 months and then start to differentiate, right? No business is successful in 30 days and no strategy is going to produce results immediately. I mean, some will, but the majority of them, it's going to take time. So focus on a couple things and get that shiny object syndrome out of here. The third mistake would be overestimating your property values or not leaving enough spread on the deal for buyers. So a lot of times I see wholesalers comping properties that are like a mile away with the subject property when there's a comp on the same street. And they're doing it because they want to inflate their ARV. Let's not do that. Let's be realistic. If there's sales that are similar to your property nearby, use those ones. Don't go looking for one that's a mile away, 2 miles away because you want your ARV to be higher so your numbers make sense. That's not how it works. Buyers aren't stupid and they will do their due diligence. So really become a pro at comping, and you're going to have to put those repetitions in. Become a pro at comping, use the right comps, and really try not to overestimate your ARV. And then not leaving enough spread on the deals, right? Let's say you're good at your ARVs, but now you're locking them up at 80, 90%, and it's not leaving enough room for buyers to do anything. Again, we don't want to go out there and just lock deals up because we can. We want to lock them up because we think they're deals and we think that we can move them. So don't lock things up just because. Really try to understand your ARV and leave enough spread in the deal for everyone to make money. Number 4 would be not understanding your contracts and signing whatever. This is a big one. I see a lot of people sign exclusive agreements with real estate agents that tie them to that agent for 6 months. I've seen people sign assignment contracts or purchase and sale agreements without reading them, and then it backfires, right? I've had to take buyers EMD before because they failed to read the assignment contract and didn't understand that there was no inspection. So read your contracts and understand them. You're going into a legal binding agreement here. If you're not comfortable with that, get an attorney to read it for you and advise you on what you should and shouldn't sign. Because at the end of the day, these are legal binding contracts and you are signing it. So if you don't know what you're signing, don't sign it. That's just my advice. Number 5 would be failing to network and grow your relationships. So I did this in the very beginning, and I see a lot of people do this as well. They try to get into wholesaling and they want to go the solo dolo route, right? They think that they can do everything themselves. They've watched enough YouTube videos. They've learned enough. They're going to go out there. It sounds easy enough, and they're going to figure it out themselves. You can do that, but you'll jump so much of the learning curve if you partner with wholesalers who are doing a lot of deals, if you figure out exactly what's working for them, if you talk to buyers who are buying a lot of properties. Don't just try to go out there and find deals by yourself and then hope that once you get a deal, you're going to start finding buyers. Network, talk to buyers, talk to agents, talk to wholesalers, talk to everybody, right? Contractors, appraisers, your title company, like become known. The more people you know, again, your net worth is your network, right? Or your network is your net worth, whatever that saying is. So grow your network, make sure you're building relationships, and don't be afraid to ask questions. And then a bonus one, number 6, don't pocket watch. I've seen so many deals get killed because someone feels like they deserve more for bringing a buyer or whatever the case may be, right? So I'll give you an example. I had a buddy one time bring a buyer for a deal. The assignment fee was $100,000. The wholesaler who had the deal offered my buddy 25 grand for bringing the buyer. My buddy felt like he deserved 50% of that. So he said, no, I need 50% or, we can't do this deal. The wholesaler who had the deal basically said, okay, cool. We don't need to do the deal with you anyways. I have buyers already lined up. Sorry, this wasn't able to work. Well, now my buddy panicking that 25K is also off the table. Now he comes back and he says, okay, cool. I'll do it for 25K. Well, the wholesaler who had the deal basically was like, no, right? Like you felt entitled to money that I should have been making myself. And we already had buyers at your number. So we're going to go ahead and move forward with them. We don't need your help anymore. So because my buddy felt entitled to 25K that was never his, he actually lost 25K that could have been his, right? And that's just an example. I've seen it happen so many other times. So at the end of the day, don't worry about what a dispo wholesaler is making. Don't worry about what your acquisitions wholesaler is making. Don't worry about what your buyer is going to make. And if you're a buyer, don't worry about what your wholesaler is going to make. If the numbers work for you, the numbers work for you. If you're getting what you asked for, you're getting what you asked for. So those are my kind of 6 mistakes that I see wholesalers making. Hopefully that was helpful. I know a lot of these mistakes, if not all of them, I made myself. And if I could go back and just tell myself in the very beginning, hey, don't do these 6 mistakes, I think I would have got my first deal in a couple months versus damn near a year and a half. So hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, again, smash that subscribe button below. Help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers, and I will see you all in the next video.